It seems tough to believe, but not all that long ago, East Asia was not a dominant player in global trade. China and Vietnam were inward-looking command economies, and Japan and South Korea needed to rebuild from war before they could build the world's electronics. But over the next decades, the region experienced rapid economic integration. Hong Kong, Singapore, South Korea, and Taiwan leapt forth as the Asian tigers, while China emerged as the globe's factory. To a degree, this success was built on production chains, linked together by intricate webs of free trade agreements. These agreements created insiders and outsiders, and as the WTO has proved incapable of agreeing on global rules of the game, these side deals became convenient second-best solutions. As these blocs get bigger and bigger, more and more is at stake. After all, countries that pursue free trade tend to have lower tariffs to begin with, so the mega deals aren't so much about removing tariffs as they are about setting the rules of the game, setting the rules on intellectual property rights, on trade sanctions, and rules of origin. Basically, all the things the WTO couldn't agree on. So where are we now? Well, we have this broader competition between East and West, and a narrower competition between US and China to set those rules of the game for 21st century trade. And they would never admit it out loud, but this is what drives the United States' interest in TTIP, a potential trade deal with the European Union, and in TPP, the proposed deal with Pacific countries. If both of these agreements came through, the U.S. would have a key voice in setting the rules on over 60% of global commerce. Countries left out, China, India, Brazil, would be forced to either fall in line or potentially be left out of the loop. And that's why some major Asian economies are down with TPP. If you think the West is concerned about China's rise, imagine how its neighbors feel. Japan, for example, is a country with high labor and product standards. It doesn't want China setting the rules of trade. So how would TPP affect Asia? According to our model, the 4 participating Asian countries would benefit greatly from a deep TPP. Vietnam and Malaysia in particular could see strong per capita GDP gains because they would have increased access to the Americas. Interestingly, the model suggests only modest declines for China, 0.32% of per capita GDP, in a deep TPP scenario. Now, this is because if participating Asian countries want to send more final goods to the Americas, they'll have to increase intermediate trade with China. But Asian countries have no intention of letting Uncle Sam, Jacques, and Fritz write the rules of global trade. And a group of Asian countries have combined to develop their own deal called the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. In the Western media, RCEP is reported as a counterweight to TPP, but it runs deeper than that. RCEP is built out from ASEAN, a successful free trade agreement between Southeast Asian countries. Critically, however, it includes China and India, and not the US, and it pays limited attention to labor, quality, or environmental standards. Again, our model indicates Vietnam and Malaysia could be the big winners of RCEP. These are countries already deeply embedded in Asian trade, and they stand to rapidly benefit by expanding their network. But China and India also stand to gain. In fact, we forecast RCEP to be a winning deal for nearly all Asian countries. But that's just the beginning. After all, TPP and RCEP are not mutually exclusive deals, and it's entirely feasible that both could be implemented simultaneously. Who wins then? Who loses? And what happens to Asia if we throw TTIP into the mix? We crush the numbers so you can crush the debate. Check out our full study online here.